In today's video, we are going to identify parts of algebraic expressions. So, what are algebraic expressions? Well, algebraic expressions are math sentences. So, math sentences are just like sentences in English class. However, we have things called terms, like terms, coefficients, variables, and constants. So, what are terms? Terms are everything in the math sentence separated by a plus or minus symbol. What are like terms? Like terms match. I'll show you what I mean by this in a moment. Coefficient is the large numbers in front of a variable. Variables are all of our letters. And constants are numbers all by themselves. Okay, so looking at this problem that we have, we are going to identify our terms, our like terms, our coefficients, variables, and constants. So the very first thing that we are going to identify are our terms. Our terms are everything separated by a plus or a minus sign. Notice, I put different amounts of lines under each term. So for terms, we have 2 to the third. We have 3x, we have minus x, and we have 7. Now, we talked about like terms a second ago, and I told you these are things that match. Well, notice 2 to the third. There are no other terms with an exponent. Therefore, 2 to the third is all by itself. Then we have 3x and minus x. So our plus and minus signs attach to our variables and our numbers, such as positives and negatives. So our like terms in this particular problem are 3x and negative x. They both have an x, so they are like. Number 7 is a number by itself, so it is not a like term. Coefficients. Coefficients are the large number in front of a variable. So coefficients that we have a 3 in front of the x, so we are going to have a coefficient of 3. But the other thing I want you to notice, do you see how this is a negative x? Well, whenever you have a letter all by itself, you can simply put a 1 in front of it. So we also would have a coefficient of negative 1. This will make more sense as we go along. Then we have variables. What letters do we have? Well, the only letter we have is x. We do have a few of them, but we're only going to list the x one time. And then we have constants. These are numbers all by themselves. We have 7. All right, so let's look at another one. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to list our terms, all right? Remember, terms is everything in the math sentence separated by plus and minus signs. So our terms in this particular problem are going to be 3a, a, and 5. Notice, each of these is separated by the plus sign. All right, the next thing we're going to look at is like terms. Now, remember, like terms are terms that can be combined, okay? Like terms are terms that can be combined. So our like terms are going to be 3a and a. We can combine these terms. Next, do we have any variables? Remember, variables are our letters. We do. The variables would be a. Do we have any coefficients? Coefficients are numbers attached to a letter via multiplication. We have a coefficient of 3, and whenever we have a variable all by itself, that a, we can put a 1 in front of it. Therefore, our coefficients would be 3 and 1. And do we have any constants? Numbers all by themselves? Yes, we do. We have a 5. These are the parts of an algebraic expression.